The name's Bond. James Bond.
Pierce Brosnan has suffered more heartbreaking losses than most people know. Not only did he lose his wife, but he also lost his adopted daughter, and in the most tragic way imaginable. From the beginning, Pierce Brosnan's life was no fairy tale. Born in Ireland in 1953, he was just a baby when his father abandoned him. Then, when he was 4, he lost another parent. His mother, Margaret, went to look for work in London, leaving him to the care of his grandparents. Tragically, after both his grandparents died, he ended up alone, languishing in a boarding house. When he was 11 years old, he and his mother were finally reunited. When she brought him to Scotland, the move upended Brosnan's entire life. Not only did he have a brand new home, but he also had a brand new stepfather, William Carmichael. In fact, it was Carmichael who took Pierce to his very first James Bond film, Goldfinger.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Little did he know the legendary character would one day become his destiny. Never fond of school, Brosnan decided to become a painter at 16 and started training at St. Martin's School of Art. But it wasn't long before his interest turned to acting. When he was accepted into the Drama Centre of London, he felt like he'd found the right path. Despite flourishing on the stage, Brosnan's deepest desire was to become a film actor. He started getting some small film roles, working his way to the top, little by little. Then America came calling. The series was called Manions of America, and Brosnan was offered the lead role. Set against the backdrop of the Irish famine, the character seemed tailor-made for the ambitious Irishman, and he accepted the part without a second thought. He married Australian actress Cassandra Harris in 1980, and they moved to London together. They had a son, Sean, in 1983, and Brosnan also became a father to Harris's children, Christopher and Charlotte, legally adopting them after their dad passed away in 1986. Harris was certain that her husband was going to be a star. Together they came up with a plan. They applied for a home improvement loan, but instead of using the money for renovations, they spent it on 2 plane tickets to Los Angeles. It was a sneaky ploy, but it was a risk they were willing to take. Next stop, Hollywood. Once in America, Brosnan soon won the role that would make him a household name, Remington Steele. Playing the role helped cement his reputation as a handsome leading man, and as a result, an exciting rumour began to circulate. Brosnan always dreamed of playing James Bond, but it was his wife who actually got to work in a Bond film before he did. She appeared in For Your Eyes Only and introduced her husband to producer Albert Broccoli, hoping his charm would win him the role of Bond after Roger Moore retired. At the time, everybody believed that Pierce Brosnan was destined to be the next James Bond. As these rumours gained momentum, Remington Steele saw a burst in popularity, and the producers, having cancelled the show after its 5th season, renewed it for a 6th. The Bond producers wanted Brosnan, but now he was contractually obliged to make another season of Remington Steele, meaning they had to look elsewhere for a new Bond. In 1987, Brosnan had to travel to India and decided to take his family with him. But while they were there, Cassandra began to wilt beneath persistent fatigue and problems with her stomach. Upon arriving home, she went to the doctor and received some shocking news. The diagnosis was ovarian cancer. For the next 4 years, Harris did everything in her power to beat the disease, but sadly, in December 1991, she couldn't hold on any longer. She died, leaving Brosnan and her children reeling.
How did you deal with loss?
Faith.
There aren't many people who get a second chance to accept the role of their dreams, but Brosnan did. He signed a 3-film Bond deal with MGM in 1994 and debuted as 007 in GoldenEye the very next year.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Ksenia Sergeyevna Onatop.
Moviegoers loved Brosnan as Bond. He was suave, smooth, and so charming that it's no wonder that his first outing became the highest-grossing Bond film of its time. Sometimes the stars align, and in 1994, Brosnan got a taste of serendipitous timing. Not only did he land one of the most pivotal roles of his career, but he also got another chance at finding true love. After being a widower for 3 years, it was finally time for him to move on. While visiting Mexico, he met Keely Shea Smith, an American journalist. They started dating immediately, and Brosnan knew he'd found someone very special. Considering the torment of his solitary childhood, it's no surprise that he delighted in having a large family. He'd already proven himself to be an excellent father to his and Harris's children, and then he welcomed sons Dylan and Paris in 1997 and 2001. After the birth of their second son, Brosnan and Smith married at Ballintubber Abbey in Ireland.
His name is James Bond, a British assassin.
Even after his 4th Bond film, Die Another Day, was released in 2002, Brosnan still felt that he could easily do 1 or 2 more movies as 007. So, when the producers called to tell him that they planned to go a different way, Brosnan was thrown for a loop. But forever the gentleman, he bowed out with grace. Now that this epic chapter had come to a close, the actor was free to take on new and exciting roles. He decided to dip his toes into the world of musicals.
I have 2 grown children. I know something about letting go. If Sophie felt you were okay...
Mamma Mia had an all-star cast, and there was one woman he very much wanted to work with. He admitted that he didn't really pay attention to the script and agreed to do the film as soon as he found out it starred the uber-talented Meryl Streep. But when it came to singing, Brosnan didn't exactly hit the mark.
It used to be so nice, it used to be so good.
The critics were ruthless. They compared his singing to a water buffalo, a donkey, and an injured raccoon. Harsh. Luckily for him, his undeniable charm swooped in to save the day. But as likeable and debonair as he isn't immune to making some seriously questionable choices.
Before he died.
Yes, I know, but he never mentioned this. This is grotesque. I've never taken notice from anyone.
Brosnan worked with director Roman Polanski to make The Ghostwriter, a political thriller. The film did well critically, but his decision to work with Polanski invited controversy. At the time, Brosnan admitted that he took the role based on his respect for Polanski's artistry. However, looking back on this decision today, he may have had a change of heart. The Me Too movement changed Hollywood, opening up the conversation about the horrendous conditions for women in the workplace. Hearing so many victims share their stories, Brosnan looks back on The Ghostwriter with a new perspective. Although he left Ireland when he was only 11, Brosnan is an Irishman first and foremost. He's amused at having played the very English James Bond because he believes that he brought a lot of Irish sentimentality, passion, and melancholia to the role. Still, his passion for life extends beyond his nationalism, and most refreshingly, he harbours a passion that most don't know about. Before he'd decided his passion lay in acting, Brosnan enjoyed using his hands to make art. When his world turned upside down after Cassandra Harris's diagnosis, he started painting in an attempt to navigate his all-encompassing grief.
What do we need this for?
Since then, painting has been his constant hobby and method of relaxation, and he uses it for a good cause too. He donates the profits from his painting sales to women's health, environmental and children's charities. After Harris passed, he became a strong advocate for cancer awareness. He's also been an ambassador for UNICEF for the past 20 years. But when it comes to his deep passion for activism, he has a steadfast supporter. His wife Keely is also an enthusiastic and involved partner. The couple work with several conservation organisations and have produced a documentary, Poisoning Paradise, on how experimental pesticide test sites are impacting the environment in Hawaii.
But the real truth is, this debate about environmental toxins in general and pesticides specifically is raging around the world.
Although Brosnan strived to be an involved and caring father to his adopted children, he faced some tough situations because of his older adopted son, Christopher. Unfortunately, after his mother's passing, Christopher began to spiral into the dangerous world of drugs. Brosnan tried to help him break free of his addiction, but wasn't successful. He eventually cut Christopher off completely, hoping that his son will recover and find his way back someday. His other adopted child, Charlotte, never gave him a hard time, but fate had a heartbreaking plan in store for her. Brosnan and his family learned to overcome the trauma of Harris's passing and live with their grief, so they felt devastated to learn they'd have to go through it all again when Charlotte's doctors diagnosed her with ovarian cancer too. She was just 41 when she died, leaving behind 2 children. To Brosnan, Charlotte would always be his funny, wonderful daughter, and it tore him apart to watch from the sidelines as cancer claimed her life. If these harrowing chapters taught Brosnan anything, it was the importance of treasuring the ones you love while they're still around. His son Sean is an actor and filmmaker himself, and both his younger sons, Dylan and Paris, are chips off the old block. They both model and attend film school, hoping to follow in their father's footsteps one day. Being a steadfast father has always been important to Brosnan, and his dedication to his boys may well have stemmed from his lonely childhood and absent father. The world can be a small place when you're so famous. That's exactly how Brosnan ended up meeting his biological father while shooting an episode of Remington Steele. The man just strolled up and introduced himself. Pierce had always imagined his father to be a larger-than-life character, but instead he described him as a man of medium stature, pushed back silver hair, flinty eyes, and a twizzled jaw. More than anything, he wished their reunion had been a private affair. However, despite his father's past transgressions, Brosnan never resented him. Perhaps one of the reasons why Brosnan was such a good father to Cassandra Harris's kids was that he found a great father figure in his own stepfather. William Carmichael was always good to the young Brosnan. When he too got sick, Pierce stayed with him throughout his last days and greatly grieved his passing. Pierce Brosnan has been nominated twice for Golden Globes, has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, was voted Sexiest Man Alive by People magazine, as well as one of the 50 most beautiful people in the world, and has an honorary OBE for his contribution to British cinema. But even at age 72, Brosnan has no plans of stopping.
Change of scenery. Not till I'm finished here.
If you enjoyed this Factinate video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more incredible stories. If you want a say in who we cover next, join our membership program through the link in the description for exclusive perks. Your support means everything to us.